Basic Ministries presents its follow-up protection and development program. Hello, my name is James Wilkins. I've been in full-time ministry for the past 45 years. During that time, I've had the privilege of being a pastor, a missionary, an evangelist. I've even been able to teach 20 different years in Bible colleges, as well as writing a few simple books to help people in the fields of soul winning, follow-up, and discipleship. My approach to the ministry has always been a practical approach rather than a theoretical or a theological. And that's because I believe the Bible is the absolute word of truth. I believe that when Paul said it'll thoroughly furnish you in all truths, that is exactly what it means, that it has the answer to every one of life's problems. I would like to ask you, as a busy pastor or educational director or full-time Christian worker, to stop and clear your mind of all of the many projects and problems in which you're working, and to listen for the next few minutes, because I believe that we have the solution. Now, please note that I said we have the solution. I believe that to be true to the biggest problem that you face in the ministry. I believe most pastors would agree that the two major problems that they face in the ministry as a pastor is, number one, the lack of committed workers. It's very difficult to find people that'll make a commitment and be very, very thorough in their particular job. And then secondly, the loss of fruit or the loss of new converts. We have people that join our church, they come for a little while, and then suddenly they're there no more. I believe we can greatly help you in these two areas. Now, notice the name of our program is Follow-Up, Protection, and the Development of Your Workers. In our day of apostasy and defeatism, we must follow up on the new convert within a very short time upon his conversion. We must protect him in order to keep him long enough to help him make a transition into the church family where he becomes secure and he feels happy and is able to find a place there in the church family. We will introduce you to both to the tools and to the method of developing your new converts. We believe that we can help you to transform them to where they're very fruitful, they're growing, and they're a part of your congregation. Now, the demoralizing effect of the fruit, of the loss of fruit, I don't think that anyone really can understand the tremendous demoralization that follows because of the loss of new converts. Let me illustrate it. You can't hurt a farmer any worse than whenever he goes and prepares the soil and he puts the seed in the ground. He works all year. He has all the plans and aspiration of what he'll do with the bumper crop that looks like he's about to reap. And then suddenly, through a storm or a fire or a flood, he loses everything. Perhaps the thing that changed my life the most when I was a young child was my father and family were farming around 350 acres, and we had a tremendous yield that year, but unfortunately an arsonist came through our part of the country and burned down 3 big barns in a week's time. Ours was one of them, and without proper insurance, within 2 years, our happy way of life was now brought to a place where we had to sell out and relocate. Just a devastating effect on the family. I have noticed a long time how parents are totally devastated whenever one of their children grows up and adopts a lifestyle that's totally foreign to what they raised the child to become. And there was a breakdown of communications, and then the acceptance of a lifestyle. And you can see a little part of those parents just literally die as they lose the relationship with that child, and the future hopes are dashed. But when I was doing research recently for a paper on bereavement, I was totally my mind was almost blown. I am hard to be surprised, but when I found out that one specialist in the field of bereavement said that when a husband and wife loses a child, that within 2 years, 70% of the people that loses a child, they either separate or divorced. I couldn't hardly accept that, so I did further research, and then I came to a person that seemed to have a broader knowledge of bereavement and the consequences and the pain and the disenchantment and the aftermath, and he said the figure was closer to 75%. So, Pastor, please think, whenever a farmer is devastated by the loss of his fruit and a marriage is dissolved because of the loss of its fruit, what do you think is really happening in the lives and hearts of your members and your staff, and even in your own life whenever you lose new converts? You have people saved, they come in, they're happy. You really feel like you have a tremendous new prospect there, and then suddenly they're gone. I believe that's the reason that we have such few workers. I believe the committed workers begin to say, what's the use? They're not going to stay long anyway, so they're soon gone. If we could solve that one problem, the problem of shutting the back door and bringing that new convert into the relationship where he's happy, he's growing, and where everybody knows him, sees the change in his life, and suddenly you have credibility with just a whole avenue of people, all of his family, all of his friends, all of his old high school buddies. Now they are open to you, and you have credibility to them because they saw the change in this dear family member or loved one. And see, now what we have to do is create a new self-image in your church. We need to create a proper self-image in your people, that your church family and within your membership and in your community, that you are a friendly church, that you are a caring church, that you are a church that is involved and have the answers to those people who are looking for help. Many churches need to completely rework their self-image because the people come in and sit down in the same place. They're not really too friendly. People come in, they don't feel like they're well received. So what we need to do is create a new self-image in your church and people, so that people sense the difference. They sense the friendliness. They sense that you really do care. Now, that's what our material is designed to do. It is designed to help you have that self-image that you present to the community, that we're friends, that we're open, that we're concerned, we have the answers. Now, the first thing that we believe that does that is our little tract, Let's Be Friends. Let's Be Friends. This little tract, whenever it's given, it's just it's a two-colored tract that has a cross on the front, and what it's designed, it says, yes, I'd like to be your friend, but more important, I'd like to introduce someone who's already your friend, who would like to be your best friend. And then on the bar of the cross, it says 4 simple facts from a friend, and underneath that is your picture and the name and address and phone number of your church. And we think that through putting this in the bulletin and in your visitation packets, as your members use it, they begin to have that theme, let's be friends. And people begin to relate to you, the pastor, in association